If you're watching this video, you're logically an Arma 3 player, and maybe even more a player that's, for some reason, when you're moving, you cannot shoot, and you're wondering why? Now, I practically finished the entire single-player campaign, the East Wind, without being able to fire when moving. Most of the times, it's not an issue. You're busy doing this and sniping. But an enemy pops up in your face while you're turning and you're dodging the bullets trying to survive, and for some stupid reason you can't shoot, and you're thinking, what is this game? Like Arma 3, it's 2017. It's a pretty advanced, this game is praised for its realism. Well, it was my fault, and if you have the same issue, I'll show you the solution. So, it's all based on what is called the combat pace. The combat pace, I use the F key to toggle it on and off. As you can imagine, infantry movement, combat pace toggle, F. I also have this here, combat pace for 3 seconds when I click, but I'll show you why later on. That is a neat little trick. But let's just do the basics here. Combat pace, there it is, okay. So in combat pace, you actually have a reticule to fire. Mine's not super visible when moving, like so. Maybe in full auto. Ta-da-da! So that's how you do it. It's actually tricky. I'll explain why. Because, this is not combat pace. I was using third person, and it looks like it. I thought I was in combat pace. See? The difference is the weapon is not truly stocked to your shoulder. That is, the stock is not truly fitted on your shoulder like this. But if you press combat pace, aha! Your shoulders are not moving as much. Here you're swinging a bit, and you're actually going faster, of course, when you're not in combat pace. So, toggle it on and off. Now, even more tricky, there's something more I want to show you, but I'll first show you why I set this odd key control, the combat pace 3 seconds. The reason is simple and useful, even for veterans or elite players. Let's say you're not in combat pace, like now, right? No combat reticule, you cannot fire. Because of what I just showed you, when I click, suddenly I'm automatically in combat pace. So no matter what happens, if I'm clicking, suddenly I can fire. If you understand what I just showed you, you're not in combat pace, you click once, suddenly you are in combat pace, and you can fire. So it's a nice little trick I found. Now quickly, I need to go in the virtual arsenal to show you a deeper little issue about combat pace. It has to do with your weapon being lowered or raised, which I thought meant being in combat pace or not, but it's not the case. In fact, see, I'm in combat pace now. You can see up there it's 11 kilometers per hour. I lower my weapon with a special key binding, and suddenly I'm still going at 11 kilometers an hour, which means the game considers that I'm still in combat pace, even though my weapon is lowered, which is kind of silly, honestly. I mean, combat pace, this is not really combat pace, It kind of breaks the purpose of what it's supposed to be. So, weapon up, combat pace with my toggle key 11, combat pace off 14 kilometers an hour. That kind of shows, on the long run. So whether your weapon is up or down, it's purely aesthetic, purely roleplay. In my humble opinion, they could have made that a bit simpler. They should have made it that weapon up would have been automatically combat pace, but it's not. So, it's kind of tricky. I just use now the toggle on, off, and I have a more complicated key to lower the weapon for purely RP visual reasons. There. I think that does pretty much the whole thing. So this is my second video. In my first one, in my defense, I did 100 test, and it was 5 a.m. So my articulation was rather sloppy. And if you're wondering what is this odd accent, is this guy Arab, Spanish, Armenian? What is this odd accent? Actually, I'm French Canadian. So I do not sound French, of course, as you may have noticed. Uh, so it's North American Francophone, which is a kind of rare, and is a reason why people don't really know what the hell this accent is. So anyhow, yeah, I hope this is useful for you. See ya.